Integration. Integration is the inverse process of differentiation. The process of finding the original function when its differentiation is given is known as integration or anti-differentiation. Now, consider the differentiation of the functions cos x, x square by 2 and e power x. Differentiation of cos x is minus sin x. Differentiation of x square by 2 is equal to x and differentiation of e power x is e power x. We can also say that the function minus sin x is the derived function of cos x and the function x is the derived function of x square by 2 and e power x is the derived function of e power x. We can also say that minus sin x, x and e power x are antiderivative or an integral of cos x, x square by 2 and e power x respectively. Or we say that cos x is the antiderivative of minus sin x, x square by 2 is the antiderivative of x and e power x is the antiderivative of e power x. Again, we know that the derivative of any constant function c is 0. So, we get differentiation of cos x plus c also as minus sin x and differentiation of x square by 2 plus c is again x and differentiation of e power x plus c is also e power x. Thus, antiderivatives or integrals of the given functions are not unique. Actually, there exist infinitely many antiderivatives of each of these functions which can be obtained by choosing c arbitrarily from the set of real numbers. For this reason, c is customarily referred to as arbitrary constant. In fact, c is the parameter by varying which one gets different antiderivatives or integrals of the given function. More generally, if there is a function capital F such that d by dx of capital F of x is equal to small f of x for every x belongs to the interval I, then for any arbitrary real number c, d by dx of capital F of x plus c is equal to small f of x for all x belongs to the interval I. Therefore, the set capital F plus c for all c belongs to real numbers denotes a family of antiderivatives of f. Let us list the integrals of some of the functions based on their derivatives. D by dx of x raised to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 is equal to x power n. Therefore, integral of x power n dx is equal to x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c for all n not equals to minus 1. Particularly, d by dx of x is equals to 1 implies integration of dx is equal to x plus c. Differentiation of sin x is equal to cos x implies integration of cos x dx is equal to sin x plus c. Differentiation of minus cos x is equal to sin x implies integration of sin x dx is equal to minus cos x plus c. Differentiation of tan x is equal to secant square x implies integration of secant square x dx is equal to tan x plus c. Differentiation of minus cot x is equal to cosecant square x implies integration of cosecant square x is equal to minus cot x plus c. Differentiation of secant x is equal to secant x tan x. Therefore, integration of secant x tan x dx is equal to secant x plus c. Differentiation of minus cosecant x is equal to cosecant x cot x. Therefore, integration of cosecant x cot x dx is equal to minus cosecant x plus c. Differentiation of sin inverse of x is equal to 1 by root over 1 minus x square. Therefore, integration of dx by root over 1 minus x square is equal to sin inverse of x plus c. Differentiation of minus cosecant inverse of x is equal to 1 by root over 1 minus x square. Therefore, integration of dx by root over 1 minus x square is equal to minus cos inverse of x plus c. Differentiation of tan inverse of x is equal to 1 by 1 plus x square implies integration of dx by 1 plus x square is equal to tan inverse of x plus c. Differentiation of minus cot inverse of x is equal to 1 by 1 plus x square implies integration of dx by 1 plus x square is equal to minus cot inverse of x plus c. Differentiation of secant inverse of x is equal to 1 by x root x square minus 1. Therefore, integration of dx by x root x square minus 1 is equal to secant inverse of x plus c. Differentiation of minus cosecant inverse of x is equal to 1 by x root x square minus 1. Therefore, integration of dx by x root x square minus 1 is equal to minus cosecant inverse of x plus c. Differentiation of e power x is equal to e power x. Therefore, integration of e power x dx is equal to e power x plus c. Differentiation of log mod x is 1 by x. Therefore, integration of 1 by x dx is equal to log mod x plus c, and differentiation of a power x by log a is equal to a power x implies integration of a power x dx is equal to a power x by log a plus c. Geometrical interpretation of indefinite integral. Let f of x is equal to 2x. Then integration of f of x dx is equal to x square plus c. For different values of c, we get different integrals. But these integrals are very similar geometrically. Therefore, y is equal to x square plus c, where c is arbitrary constant, represents a family of integrals. By assigning different values to c, we get different members of the family. These together constitute the indefinite integral. In this case, each integral represents a parabola with its axis along y-axis. Now, for c is equal to 0, we get y is equal to x square, which is a parabola with vertex at origin and axis y-axis. For c is equal to 1, y is equal to x square plus 1, which is again a parabola with vertex 0, 1 and axis y-axis. C is equal to minus 1 represents a parabola y is equal to x square minus 1 whose vertex is 0, minus 1. Thus, for each positive value of C, each parabola of the family has its vertex on the positive side of the y-axis, and for negative values of C, each has its vertex along the negative side of the y-axis. Now, consider the intersection of all these parabolas by a line x is equal to a. If the line x is equal to a intersects the parabolas y is equal to x square, y is equal to x square plus 1, y is equal to x square plus 2, y is equal to x square minus 1, y is equal to x square minus 2 at p0, p1, p2, p minus 1, p minus 2, etc. respectively, then dy by dx at these points equals 2a. This indicates that the tangents to the curves at these points are parallel. Therefore, integration of 2x dx is equal to x square plus c, which is equal to capital F of x, implies that the tangents to all the curves y is equal to f of x at c, where c belongs to R at the points of intersection of the curves by the line x is equal to a are parallel. Further, the statement integration of f of x dx is equal to capital F of x plus c, which is equal to y, represents a family of curves. The different values of c will correspond to different members of this family, and these members can be obtained by shifting any one of the curves parallel to itself. This is the geometrical interpretation of indefinite integral. The process of differentiation and integration are inverse of each other. Two indefinite integrals with the same derivative lead to the same family of curves and so they are equivalent. Integration of f of x plus g of x dx is equal to integration of f of x dx plus integration of g of x dx. For any real number k, integral of k into f of x dx is equal to k into integral of f of x dx, and integral of k1 f1 of x plus k2 f2 of x plus etc. kn fn of x dx is equal to k1 into integration of f1 of x dx plus k2 into integration of f2 of x dx plus etc. plus kn into integration of fn of x dx. Comparison between differentiation and integration. Differentiation, integration, both are operations on functions. Both satisfy the property of linearity. All functions are not differentiable. Similarly, all functions are not integrable. The derivative of a function, when it exists, is a unique function. The integral of a function is not unique. However, they are unique up to an additive constant. That is, any two integrals of a function differ by a constant. When a polynomial function p is differentiated, the result is a polynomial whose degree is 1 less than the degree of p. When a polynomial function p is integrated, the result is polynomial whose degree is 1 more than that of p. We can speak of the derivative at a point. We never speak of an integral at a point. We speak of integral of a function over an interval on which the integral is defined. The geometrical meaning of derivative of a function is the slope of the tangent to the corresponding curve at a point. Similarly, the geometrical meaning of indefinite integral of a function is a family of curves placed parallel to each other, having parallel tangents at the points of intersection of the curves of the family, with the lines perpendicular to the axis representing the variable of integration. The derivative is used for finding some physical quantities like the velocity of a moving particle when the distance traversed at any time t is known. Similarly, the integral is used in calculating the distance traversed when the velocity at time t is known. Differentiation and integration both are a process involving limits, and the process of differentiation and integration are inverse of each other. Methods of integration. Integrations by substitution. In this method, the given integral, integration of f of x dx, can be transformed into another form by changing the independent variable x to t by substituting x is equal to g of t. Consider I is equal to integration of f of x dx. Substitute x is equal to g of t, so that dx by dt is equal to g dash of t. We write dx is equal to g dash of t into dt. Therefore, the given integral I is equal to integration of f of x dx will change into integration of f of g of t into g dash of t dt. For example, consider integration of 1 plus log x whole square by x dx. To evaluate the given integral, substitute 1 plus log x is equal to t, so that 1 by x dx is equal to dt. Now, replacing 1 plus log x as t and 1 by x dx as dt, we get integration of 1 plus log x whole square by x dx as integration of t square dt. Now, integration of t square dt is nothing but t power 3 by 3 plus c. Again replacing t place as 1 plus log x, we get integration of 1 plus log x whole square by x dx as 1 by 3 into 1 plus log x whole cube plus c. Integration using trigonometric identities. When the integrand involves some trigonometric functions, we use some well-known identities to find the integrals. For example, let us evaluate the integral of the trigonometric function sin cube x dx. Integration of sin cube x dx can be written as integration of sin square x into sin x dx. Now, using the identity sin square x plus cos square x is equal to 1, we can write sin square x 1 minus cos square x. Therefore, integration of sin square x sin x dx is equal to integration of 1 minus cos square x into sin x dx. Now, by substituting cos x is equal to t, we get minus sin x dx is equal to dt. Therefore, integration of sin cube x dx is equal to minus integration of 1 minus t square into dt, which is equal to minus integration of dt plus integration of t square dt is equal to minus t plus t cube by 3 plus c. Now substituting t as cos x, we get minus cos x plus 1 by 3 cos cube x plus c. Some special integrals. Integration of dx by x square minus a square is equal to 1 by 2a log mod x minus a by x plus a plus c. Integration of dx by a square minus x square is equal to 1 by 2a log mod a plus x by a minus x plus c. Integration of dx by x square plus a square is equal to 1 by a tan inverse of x by a plus c. Integration of dx by root over x square minus a square is equal to log mod x plus root over x square minus a square plus c. Integration of dx by root over a square minus x square is equal to sin inverse of x by a plus c, and integration of dx by root over x square plus a square is equal to log mod x plus root over x square plus a square plus c.
Integration by partial fractions. You know that a rational function is defined as the ratio of two polynomials in the form p of x by q of x, where p of x and q of x are polynomials in x and q of x is not equal to 0. If the degree of p of x is less than the degree of q of x, then the rational function is called proper, otherwise it is called improper fraction. Improper rational functions can be reduced to proper functions by long division process. Thus, if p of x by q of x is improper fraction, then p of x by q of x is equal to p of x plus p1 of x by q of x, where p of x is a polynomial in x and p1 of x by q of x is a proper rational function. Therefore, the integration of p of x by q of x dx, where p of x by q of x is a proper function, can be evaluated with the help of a method known as partial fraction decomposition. After this, the integration can be carried out easily using the already known methods. The given table indicates the types of simple partial fractions that are to be associated with what kind of rational functions. Px plus q divided by x minus a into x minus b, where a is not equal to b, can be written in the partial fraction form as a by x minus a plus b by x minus b. Px plus q by x minus a whole square can be written as a by x minus a plus b by x minus a whole square. Px square plus qx plus r divided by x minus a into x minus b into x minus c can be written as a by x minus a plus b by x minus b plus c by x minus c. Px square plus qx plus r divided by x minus a whole square into x minus b can be written as a by x minus a plus b by x minus a whole square plus c by x minus b. Px square plus qx plus r divided by x minus a into x square plus bx plus c can be written as a by x minus a plus bx plus c by x square plus bx plus c, where x square plus bx plus c cannot be factored further. In this table, a, b, c and d are real numbers to be determined suitably. Integration by parts. This is the most useful method which is applied in a different circumstances. Particularly, this method is useful for integrals where the integrands are product of two functions, any one of which may be algebraic, exponential, logarithmic or trigonometric functions. If u and v are any two differentiable functions of a single independent variable x, then by the product rule of differentiation, we have d by dx of uv is equal to u into dv by dx plus v into du by dx. Integrating both sides, we get uv is equal to integration of u into dv by dx into dx plus integration of v into du by dx into dx. That is, integration of u into dv by dx into dx is equal to uv minus integration of v into du by dx into dx. Let u is equal to f of x and dv by dx is equal to g of x. Then du by dx is equal to f dash of x and v is equal to integration of g of x dx. Therefore, integration of f of x g of x dx is equal to f of x into integration of g of x dx minus integration of g of x dx into f dash of x dx. That is, integration of f of x g of x dx is equal to f of x into integration of g of x dx minus integration of f dash of x into integration of g of x dx dx. Remarks. Integration by parts is not applicable to product of function in all cases. For instance, the method does not work for integration of root x sin x dx. The reason is that there does not exist any function whose derivative is root x sin x. While finding the integral of second function, we did not add a constant of integration. Integrals of the type integration of e power x into f of x plus f dash of x dx. The given integral, integration of e power x into f of x plus f dash of x dx, can be written as integration of e power x f of x dx plus integration of e power x into f dash of x dx. Now, let us evaluate the integration of e power x f of x dx with the help of integration by parts. Let u is equal to f of x and dv is equal to e power x dx. Now we get du as f dash of x and v as e power x. Therefore, by integration by parts, integration of e power x f of x dx is equal to f of x into e power x minus integration of f dash of x into e power x dx plus c. Therefore, integration of e power x into f of x plus f dash of x dx is equal to e power x into f of x minus integration of f dash of x into e power x dx plus integration of e power x into f dash of x dx plus c, which is equal to e power x into f of x plus c. Integrals of some more types. Integration of root over x square minus a square dx is equal to x by 2 into root over x square minus a square minus a square by 2 into log mod x plus root over x square minus a square plus c. Integration of root over x square plus a square dx is equal to half into x root x square plus a square by 2 into log mod x plus root over x square plus a square plus c. Integration of root over a square minus x square dx is equal to half into x root a square minus x square plus a square by 2 into sin inverse of x by a plus c. definite integrals. We learned that integration of f of x dx is equal to capital F of x plus c represents a family of curves. The different values of c will correspond to different members of this family. But the definite integral has a unique value. A definite integral is denoted by integration of a to b f of x dx, where a is called the lower limit of the integral and b is called the upper limit of the integral. The definite integral is introduced either as the limit of a sum, or if it has an antiderivative f in the interval a comma b, then its value is the difference between the values of f at the end point, that is f of b minus f of a. Definite integral as the limit of a sum. Let f be a continuous function defined on the closed interval a comma b. Assume that all the values taken by the function are non-negative. So, the graph of the function is a curve above the x-axis. The definite integral, integration of a to b f of x dx, is the area bounded by the curve y is equal to f of x, the ordinates x is equal to a, x is equal to b, and the x-axis. Let us evaluate this area. Consider the region P, R, S, Q, P between this curve, x-axis, and the ordinates x is equal to a and x is equal to b. Divide the interval a comma b into n equal subintervals denoted by x0 comma x1 comma x1 comma x2 comma x2 comma x3 comma etc. xr minus 1 comma xr etc. xn minus 1 comma xn, where x0 is equal to a, x1 is equal to a plus h, x2 is equal to a plus 2h, etc. and xr is equal to a plus rh, and xn is equal to b, which is equal to a plus nh, or n is equal to b minus a by h. We note that as n approaches infinity, h approaches 0. The region PRSQP is the sum of n subregions, where each subregion is defined on subintervals xr minus 1 comma xr, where r is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. up to n. From the graph, it is clear that area of rectangle ABLC is less than area of the region ABDCA, which is less than area of the rectangle ABDM. Therefore, as xr minus xr minus 1 approaches 0, that is, h turns to 0, all the three areas become nearly equal to each other. Now, we form the following sums. Sn is equal to h into f of x0 plus etc. plus f of xn minus 1 is equal to h into sigma r is equal to 0 to n minus 1 f of xr, and Sn is equal to h of f of x1 plus f of x2 plus etc. f of xn is equal to h into sigma r minus 1 to n f of xr. Here, Sn and capital Sn denote the sum of areas of all lower rectangles and upper rectangles raised over subintervals xr minus 1 comma xr for r is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. up to n respectively. Therefore, we have Sn is less than area of the region PRSQP, which is less than capital Sn. As n approaches infinity, strips become narrower and narrower. It is assumed that the limiting values of 2 and 3 are the same in both cases, and the common limiting value is the required area under the curve. Symbolically, we write limit n turns to infinity capital Sn is equal to limit n turns to infinity small sn, which is equal to area of the region PRSQP, which is equal to integration of a to b f of x dx. This area is also the limiting value of any area which is between that of the rectangles below the curve and that of the rectangles above the curve. For convenience, we shall take rectangles with a height equal to that of the curve at the left hand edge of the subinterval. Thus, we write integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to limit h turns to 0, h into f of a plus f of a plus h plus f of a plus 2h plus etc. f of a plus n minus 1 into h, or integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to b minus a into limit n turns to infinity 1 by n of f of a plus h plus f of a plus 2h plus etc. f of a plus n minus 1 into h, where h is equal to b minus a by n approaches 0 as n turns to infinity. Fundamental theorem of calculus, area function. We learned that integration of a to b f of x dx is the area of the region bounded by the curve y is equal to f of x, the ordinates x is equal to e and x is equal to b, and x-axis. Let x be a given point in the closed interval a comma b. Then integration of a to x f of x dx represents the area of the shaded region. The area of this shaded region is a function of x. Let us denote this function of x by a of x. We call the function a of x as area function, and it is given by a of x is equal to integration of a to x f of x dx. Now, based on this definition, we define two basic fundamental theorems on integral calculus. First fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Let f be a continuous function on the closed interval a comma b, and let a of x be the area function. Then a dash of x is equal to f of x for all x belongs to closed interval a comma b. Second fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Let f be a continuous function defined on the closed interval a comma b, and let capital F be the antiderivative of f. Then integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to capital F of x of limits a to b, which is equal to f of b minus f of a. Remarks. Integration a to b f of x dx is equal to value of the antiderivative capital F of small f at the upper limit b minus value of the same antiderivative at the lower limit a. This theorem is very useful because it gives us a method of calculating the definite integral more easily without calculating the limit of a sum. The crucial operation in evaluating a definite integral is that of finding a function whose derivative is equal to the integrand. This strengthens the relationship between differentiation and integration. Steps for calculating integration of a to b f of x dx. Step 1. Find the indefinite integral, integration of f of x dx. Let this be capital F of x. There is no need to keep integration constant c, because if we consider f of x plus c instead of f of x, we get integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to f of x plus c a to b, which is equal to f of b plus c minus f of a plus c, which again implies f of b minus f of a. Thus, the arbitrary constant disappears in evaluating the value of the definite integral. Step 2. Evaluate capital F of b minus capital F of a is equal to capital F of x of limit a to b, which is the value of integration of a to b small f of x dx. Evaluation of definite integrals by substitution. Step 1. Consider the integral without limits and substitute y is equal to f of x or x is equal to g of y to reduce the given integral to a known form. Step 2. Integrate the new integrand with respect to the new variable without mentioning the constant of integration. Step 3. Resubstitute for the new variable and write the answer in the terms of the original variable. Step 4. Find the values of answers obtained in step 3 at the given limits of integral and find the difference of the values at the upper and lower limits.
Some properties of definite integrals. Integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to integration of a to b f of t dt. Integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to minus integration of b to a f of x dx. In particular, integration of a to a f of x dx is equal to 0. Integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to integration of a to c f of x dx plus integration of c to b f of x dx. Integration of a to b f of x dx is equal to integration of a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. Integration of 0 to a f of x dx is equal to integration of 0 to a f of a minus x dx. Integration of 0 to 2a f of x dx is equal to integration of 0 to a f of x dx plus integration of 0 to a f of 2a minus x dx. Integration of 0 to 2a f of x dx is equal to twice integration of 0 to a f of x dx if f of 2a minus x is equal to f of x and 0 if f of 2a minus x is equal to minus f of x. Integration of minus a to a f of x dx is equals to 2 times integration of 0 to a f of x dx if f is an even function, that is, if f of minus x is equal to f of x. Integration of minus a to a f of x dx is equal to 0 if f is an odd function, that is, if f of minus x is equal to minus f of x.